And crackdowns, we know, are China's favorite strategy. They're trump card against any problem. Does Vladimir Putin have something similar in Ukraine? A trump card to win the war? Well, he does, but it's not a crackdown. It's a commodity. It's called natural gas. Russia supplies 40% of Europe's gas. You know that by now. If Putin turns off that tap, Europe goes dark. And today he's done exactly that. Russia has closed one of the biggest gas pipelines to Europe, Nord Stream 1. First, some quick facts. This project was mooted way back in 1997. It was inaugurated 14 years later in 2011, the same year it began transporting gas from Russia to Europe. Now take a look at the route. It begins in northwest Russia, passes through the Baltic Sea and empties into Germany. Total distance is almost 1,222 kilometers. It is the longest subsea pipeline in the world. How much gas does it transport? Almost 55 billion cubic meters every year. 55 billion cubic meters. Simply put, this pipeline keeps Europe running, especially Germany. So this shutdown has spooked the German government. They fear the lights could go off. Now, technically, this is routine stuff. Every year, Russia closes the pipeline for maintenance work. According to the Kremlin, this year is no different. They say the pipeline will open again by July 21st. But Germany is not convinced. They fear this maintenance work is just an excuse that Russia will not reopen the pipeline this time. And if so, how will Berlin be affected? For starters, their energy bills will go up, higher bills, power cuts and rationing, and in the long run, even a recession.
Next week already, we will inform our clients about the current situation and tell them that significant price increases are to be expected. In isolated cases, we will not be able to rule out supply cuts as part of our existing contracts. The current situation leaves us with no other option.
How is Russia responding? With firm denials, the Kremlin says it will guarantee energy security to Europe. Listen to this.
We totally reject any suggestions or statements that the Russian side is using oil and gas to exert political pressure. This is not so. Russia consistently fulfills all its obligations, and Russia is still able to guarantee full energy security to Europe.
The fact is, you can't be sure. Perhaps Russia is bluffing, perhaps they're not. So Europe is going all out in preparation. Their first order of business is violating their own sanctions. This is very interesting. Let me explain. Russia needs a specific turbine to repair the Nord Stream pipeline. But that turbine is not in Russia. It was sent to Canada for repairs. Now, if Canada returns it, it would violate Western sanctions. If not, Russia could drag out this shutdown. So what does Canada do? Return it anyway. The Canadian government has announced a temporary exemption for Russia. Ukraine pleaded against this waiver, but Canada ignored it. They will send this turbine back to Russia. And guess who is supporting the decision? The United States. Listen to their statement. This is the US. In the short term, the turbine will allow Germany and other European countries to replenish their gas reserves, increasing their energy security and resiliency and countering Russia's efforts to weaponize energy. Let's rewind a bit here. The Western plan is to achieve energy security. And their chosen method? Violating their own sanctions on Russia. Talk about double standards. When India buys unsanctioned Russian oil, they give lectures. Now that same West is openly flouting them. And the reason is clear: money. If Nord Stream is permanently shut, Germany's economy will be hit. The loss could be $195 billion in the second half of 2022, plus a lot of consumer pain. Gas prices are up 400% compared to last year. If Nord Stream is shut, they will increase even more. So what does Germany do? They flout sanctions to keep the gas flowing. Putin is capitalizing on this weakness. He knows Europe cannot survive without Russian gas, and that is his trump card. He's not a secret weapon. Last month, Russia received a windfall from gas sales, almost $6.4 billion extra. In July, they're expecting another $3 billion. Is there any way for Europe to sidestep this Russian trap? Well, in the short term, no, they don't. They don't have an option. Germany has a two-part plan to achieve energy security. One is building up reserves. Right now, German gas storages are 63% full. The plan is to hit 90% by November. But to do that, Russian gas must resume flowing. And part two is a green pivot, moving away from Russian gas to renewable energy. The problem is, part one is on hold and part two is going to take a lot of time. So it's going to be a tough 10 days for Europe, a lot of anxiety, a lot of economic pain, until D-Day on July 21st. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.